day, everyone. Thank you for joining today's session. My name is Swetha Priya, and I work as a Director of Solution Design at ADP. Over the years, I've had the opportunity to work with organizations that implement HR technology solutions. And predominantly, I worked with them to simplify operations and also improve the overall employee experience. One thing that I have consistently noticed is that employee expectations has dramatically changed over the years. Today, people expect workplace technology to be just as intuitive and personalized as their apps that they use on their phone. That's why HR tech is no longer about payroll or it's no longer about employee record keeping, but it's about creating those experiences throughout the employee or the worker lifecycle. In today's session, we're going to explore how HR platforms, automation, analytics, and most importantly, AI are helping organizations build smarter and more connected workplaces while keeping employees at the center of every interaction. Before we dive into the technology itself, I'd like to set the context for today's discussion. Modern HR is no longer focused on administrative tasks. Instead, we are seeing that HR is becoming a strategic function that supports employees throughout their journey, right from recruitment to onboarding to learning to career growth, and eventually when they leave the company through offboarding. Technology is just an enabler behind the transformation, and in today integrated HR platforms eliminate repetitive manual work. Automation is speeding up routine process. Analytics is helping leaders make very informed decisions, and AI is that layer that adds intelligence by delivering personalized recommendation. Rather than replacing HR professionals, these technologies are now allowing HR teams to spend less time on the day to day administrative works, right? And they're spending more time helping employees truly succeed in that organization. Fundamentally, HR has evolved from primarily being an administrative function years ago into a strategic business capability. Modern HR ecosystems are connecting people, processes, and technology to improve productivity, engagement, and how agile our organizations need to be. When there are routine tasks are automated and system works together very seamlessly, HR practitioners and professionals are able to focus higher value activities such as workforce planning or talent development or employee engagement and other strategic areas. Ultimately, the goal isn't about just implementing any new technology. It's really creating an environment where employees feel supported through every interaction throughout the organization. Think about this day, an employee or a company that spends maybe 2 to 3 days every month creating HR reports and dashboards for their leadership, right? Instead of preparing those reports, HR leaders are now able to spend their time discussing insights because HR platforms and technologies are able to offer those insights and dashboards and analytics ready for them. Before we jump into how this is all being enabled, let's take a moment and look at how the evolution of HR technology has happened over the years. Initially, organizations relied on separate systems, one for processing payroll, one for attendance tracking, one for recruitment, employee records, etc. These systems, they rarely communicated or talked with each other. They led to duplicate work and inconsistent information. Then the next stage, where became the integrated digital ecosystem, where different applications began sharing information automatically. This significantly improved efficiency and reduced manual effort. Where we are today, we are in the era of AI enhanced HR, right? So artificial intelligence doesn't just automate the task, it helps organizations make smarter decisions by identifying trends, predicting workplace needs. It's also providing personalized recommendations based on the role that you play in the organization. The focus has shifted from simply digitizing HR to making HR more intelligent itself. Years ago, think of this, recruiters used to spend manually hundreds of resumes and they used to peruse those resumes and look for good candidates. Today, AI can quickly identify candidates whose skills best match the role, allowing recruiters to spend more time interviewing the right people and having that human connection instead of just sorting through hundreds of applications. The modern HR platform is much more than a single application. It is an integrated ecosystem. It's not just a singular app sitting behind the scenes. At the center is the HR information system, which serves as the organization's single source of truth for employee information. Connected to it are specialized systems for recruitment, learning, performance management, workforce analytics, and other AI services that layer over it. Now, the real value comes when these systems work together seamlessly. Information entered once into the HRIS flows automatically across your organization, eliminating duplicate data entry while providing employees with that connected experience. As AI becomes embedded across these ecosystems, organizations can now move beyond automation to delivering like proactive insights, personalized recommendations, and better decision support. If I were to put an analogy in place, think of it in the real world. Think of a smartphone. You don't think about a camera, a GPS, a calendar, or contacts and messaging apps separately. You simply expect everything to work on your phone, right? They don't care which HR system what they're using. Employees similarly want, a smooth and connected experience. Let's take a deep look at the employee lifecycle and how HR tech supports this end to end, right? This sort of highlights one of the biggest shifts in modern HR technology, supporting employees throughout the entire lifecycle, not just isolated moments, right? It really begins with recruitment, where AI helps identify suitable candidates and improves communications through the hiring process. Once a candidate accepts an offer, onboarding workflows that are automatically designed, it prepares accounts, it assigns training to new hires, and also introduces them to the right people on the first day. As employees really settle into their jobs and into their new roles, there are self-service portals now on HR Tech, right? That allows them to manage leave, manage benefits, manage expenses, look at their paycheck, make some changes to, how they want to see, really plan for retirement, etc. Throughout their careers, performance management and personalized learning now is helping employees develop new skills and achieve their goals. Finally, when they decide to leave the organization, the offboarding process is now automated to ensure, securely you're removing the access of somebody, whether you as an employee have transferred the knowledge to another colleague, and compliance. When all these stages are connected, employee experiences a very smooth and consistent journey instead of very disconnected process across applications. Artificial intelligence is becoming a very powerful layer across every function of HR that we just saw. Rather than replacing HR, AI is only helping them make faster and more informed decisions. For example, AI can identify trends across thousands of employee records. It can recommend personalized actions. It can detect patterns that humans might miss. It can even analyze employee feedback. It can predict turnover risks. It can identify skills gap and even recommend learning opportunities. Perhaps, I think, to me personally, the biggest advantage is that enables organizations to become more proactive instead of reactive. Instead of waiting for an issue to really rise, HR leaders are now able to act early using the insights from these HR tech platforms. Streamlining platforms, think of it this way. If there are streamlining platforms like Netflix that really don't wait for you to search for your next movie, they recommend content based on your viewing history. Similarly, if you think of AI in an HR, where it is recommending learning courses for you, it's recommending career opportunities for you, or internal job openings based on your skills, your interest, and career aspirations. I think that would be fantastic to us as employees when we work for organizations. Let's take a little bit depth into how AI is in action is looking into these various functions. Let's start with HR or recruitment to be precise, right? Recruitment is one of the areas where organizations are seeing significant value from AI. Hiring teams are receiving hundreds of applications in this era where there is a lot of retrenchment and there is a lot of skills available in the market. There are hundreds of applications that come across for a single position. AI today is helping recruiters analyze resume. It is helping identify relevant skills. It even prioritizes the candidates and it reduces the time spent on repetitively screening candidates. It allows recruiters to focus on interviews, on the candidate themselves, in conversations, and in relationship building, evaluating a culture fit for the organization, some things that are more significantly and strategically important. Another growing capability in recruitment is what we call as the conversational assistance. Employees and candidates today can receive instant answers to common HR questions such as policies, payroll, benefits, etc. Now, these virtual conversational assistants are improving, employee satisfaction while reducing the volume of support tickets that are typically sitting at somebody's desk to be responded over an email. From a talent management perspective, learning is most effective when it is relevant to that individual. Think of AI, where traditional training programs are often assigned the same courses to everyone, regardless of their role. Today, AI can recommend personalized learning paths based on an employee's skills, what previous training they had taken, what is their performance, and what are the a particular associate's future aspirations. At the same time, predictive analytics can also help organizations identify workforce strengths before they really become business challenges. AI can also detect signs of employee disengagement. It can forecast skill shortages, right? It can identify succession opportunities and support workforce planning. Instead of relying on reports, data, organizations can make these proactive decisions that improve both employee development and also business performance. Automation is one of the fastest ways organizations today improve efficiency and satisfaction. Many HR processes and administration are typically repetitive, they're time consuming, and they follow well defined rules or steps. I'm sure as practitioners in the industry, we would see tasks such as interview scheduling, offer letter generation, leave approvals, or expense processing, payroll processing, are all repetitive tasks that needs to be done over and over and over again based on a similar set of inputs. By reducing the manual effort and introducing automations, organizations these days are able to shorten processing times, improve consistency, and also reduce the risk of human error. More importantly, what modern HRIS is doing is HR professionals are able to focus their time on initiatives that require empathy, collaboration, decision making, more human centered than operational centered. Automation is not just about replacing people, right? It's about really allowing people to focus on work that matters more to them. One of the biggest challenges organizations face is that employee data often resides across multiple systems, right? HR may have managed employee records, finance is going to handle payroll, IT is managing user accounts, right? And security is controlling access, right? When these systems don't communicate with each other, organizations end up with duplicate data, manual updating, and inconsistent information across the ecosystem. Now, what modern HR platforms with all these AI capabilities are doing is they're designed to integrate seamlessly with the broader enterprise ecosystem. The information is flowing automatically from HR to payroll to finance to identity management, collaboration tools, third party vendors, and all the other BI platforms as well. Now, what happens as a result of this? There is greater accuracy, there is reduced administrative effort, and also consistent experience for both employees as well as for administrators. Having that strong integration layer also strengthens compliance, because it ensures that critical changes such as promotions, or if you're having some employee move from one job to another, or transferring from one location to another, is seamlessly flowing through all the applications that needs to use that information to do other tasks. Coming to reporting and analytics and benchmarking, organizations are generating tremendous amount of data across all these applications, right? But data alone doesn't create value. The real value comes when data tells a story, meaning that data turns into actionable insights for leaders and practitioners and managers and organizations as a whole. Now, what is modern HR analytics is doing is it helps take all this data together, and it looks at workforce trends. It measures employee engagement. It evaluates learning effectiveness. It connects HR initiatives to the overall business performance. Instead of relying on static reports prepared weeks after something has happened, executives can now access interactive dashboards in real time that provides the health of the organization. These insights enable leaders to identify trends early and make informed decisions. Ultimately, analytics powered by AI helps HR move from reporting, from understanding what happened and towards why it happened and deciding what to do next. The biggest focus area for AI in HR tech has been employee experiences. Today, employees in any organizations are expecting experiences in every aspect of their life, and workplace is no exception, right? We want everything to be personalized for us wherever we go. Modern HR platforms are using AI and data to personalize across the employee lifecycle. Maybe be it learning recommendations, looking at career opportunities, internal communications, recognition programs, wellness initiatives, and even benefits administration. Rather than treating every employee the same, organizations are now slicing and dicing, and they're giving tailored recommendations. If you're in California, these are the 10 things that you need to do on your onboarding. If you're in New York, these are the two things that you need to do during onboarding. When employees feel that organization understands their needs and supports their growth, engagement, satisfaction, and retention are naturally improving. Personalization is simply not a technology feature. It's really becoming a key driver for employee experience. If you take a look at the AI assisted employee journey, look at it from the moment a candidate applies for a role, AI can help match skills, improve communication, and streamline recruitment. During onboarding, automation ensures employees have the tools, training, and resources before they really start their first day. As employee grows within the organization, AI continues to support them through personalized learning, career recommendations, performance insights, and self-service. Rather than being used for isolated HR tasks, AI now becomes a continuous companion, that sort of improves every interaction that the employee takes with the HRIS that they are building. One of the most visible improvements employee experience is the shift towards self-service. Rather than contacting or picking up the phone or chat or reaching out to an agent or talk to a HR shared service partner, employees can now independently do things on their laptop or on their mobile phones to access policies, download documents, requesting leave, updating information, managing benefits, completing even their trainings for some in some cases, right? It's all become intuitive self-service experiences. This provides employees with greater convenience, and also allows HR teams to spend less time, responding to the routine questions that you can just have the system surface to the employees if they ask a question. The goal is not to reduce the human interaction, but it is to reserve HR time for more valuable conversations so that the routine ones about policies and procedures can be handled by, automation itself. How does AI intelligent and decision supporting help leadership, right? As organizations generate more data, leaders need more dashboards, they need more actionable insights. How are HR platforms combining analytics and AI to help leaders to make these better decisions around workforce planning, hiring forecasts, skills development, etc.? Instead of simply presenting data, AI can is now giving them trends, showing them potential risks, looking at employees that need flagging, right? And they also recommend actions. This allows leaders to move from reactive decision making to proactive workforce planning. Rather than asking what happened last quarter, they can ask what should we know to do next, right? Like what do you recommend that we do next? Ultimately, intelligent decision support helps organizations make faster, more informed decisions that align strategies with business goals. Technology alone doesn't transform an organization, right? And we all understand that. Fundamentally, people do. Even the most advanced HR platform, if clients are going to be on them that does all of these wonderful things for them, um, it can fail if employees don't understand why the change is happening or how to use the new system. Successful transformation into these AI supported HRIS platforms requires strong leadership sponsorship. It requires clear communication. It requires very effective training on how to use AI. It also requires intuitive user experience and designing them and continuous feedback from the employees on whether they're using these features. Is it useful for them? right? Organizations that involve employees early in the process of these transformations, explaining the benefits and continuously improve, are getting much higher adoption rates from what they are seeing from these HCM platforms itself. At the end of the day, digital transformation in the HR technology world is as much as about people, culture, as it is about technology itself. I would not be doing justice when I talk so much about AI. I talked about their use cases within each of the modules, about how change management is required. But the most important thing across the globe is how it handles security, privacy, and being responsible about handling the data. HR systems today manage some of the most sensitive information in an organization. It has all your personal identifiable information. It has information about people, right? Things about compensation, things about performance data and career history. As AI becomes more involved in the HR processes, organizations must start looking at how secure this data is, how private is it, how protected is it. Responsible AI is equally important and it should support human decision making, but not replace it. Organizations need transparency around how AI generated recommendations are creating and ensuring that critical decisions continue to involve human judgment. Building employee trust is also very essential for long term success, and also responsible governance is a very, very important and key part of that trust. Let's look at some common implementation challenges when we are implementing or transforming into an AI enabled HCM platform, right? While modern technology offers tremendous benefits, successful implementations also require very, very careful planning. Many organizations face similar challenges, including when they have poor data quality, when they don't have integrated legacy systems, when they don't have or do not invest in user adoption, and when they have when they lack in managing their organizational resistance, and also lack of clear governance. Now these challenges are rarely caused by the technology itself. More often they are from inconsistent processes or the culture of the organizations, or just not having enough time focus over the issues that critically depend on building these HCM platforms. Organizations that address these areas early by cleaning the data, involving the stakeholders, defining the ownership are much more likely to be more successful in adopting these platforms. Implementation is not simply about deploying software, right? It's really about preparing the organization and your companies in the long term to really use this in the most effective way. Looking ahead, HR technology is going to become even more intelligent and proactive. There has been continuous research, and product organizations across in this space are developing AI agents that can perform routine tasks, generate AI providing policy guidance and career coaching and skills based talent. Instead of focusing primarily on jobs, organizations are now going to focus on employee skills and capabilities and continuous development. I would say the future of HR is not simply digital, it is intelligent, it is personalized, and it is highly connected. As this continues to evolve, practitioners across the globe will spend even more time focusing on strategy, employee development, and organizational growth, while technology really handles routine administrative activities. Before we conclude, I'd like to leave you with four key messages for today's session, right? First, modern HR technology has evolved far beyond administrative automation. It has become a strategic capability that helps organizations attract, develop, and retain talent. Second, artificial intelligence enables personalized employee experiences while improving operational efficiency and supporting better decision making. Third, the greatest value comes from integrated recruitment, onboarding, learning, performance analytics through the employee lifecycle. And AI is into one and infusing AI across this connected ecosystem. And finally, successful transformation depends not only on technology, but also on data quality, governance, user experience, and effective change management. When all of these elements come together, organizations can create workplaces that are more connected, more responsive, and employee centered. Thank you all for your time today and your attention. I hope today's session has demonstrated that HR tech is much more about software, much more about just application. It's really about creating meaningful employee experiences where we spend 8 to 10 hours of our day in organizations. We are only beginning to explore what's possible with AI in HR tech, and it'll be really exciting to see how these technologies will continue to shape the future over the coming years. Thank you again for hearing me out.